There are just a few days left in Malaysia's election campaign, and for 25-year-old Syed Saddiq, every minute counts. His campaign team wants him to meet at least 30,000 voters in this southern electorate. But it's not just these voters he's trying to win over. Saddiq is a key figure for the opposition coalition Pakatan Harapan, and he wants to change the face of Malaysian politics.
Because it's seen to be an oldest game, we have to break the glass ceiling, a glass ceiling which paints a false reality that young people are incapable, immature to join politics and partake in the nation-building process. If anything, we need to have more young people, enthusiastic young people from all political sides.
This is no ordinary political battle. Saddiq and members of the opposition are trying to convince voters to choose an alternative to the governing coalition that's led Malaysia for 6 decades, Barisan Nasional, or BN. They want to oust sitting Prime Minister Najib Razak. And to do that, they've gone back to the past, enlisting the former Prime Minister and once leader of BN, Mahathir Mohamad, to run again for the premiership. You're a 25-year-old trying to convince other young people to vote for a 92-year-old.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I always believe that you must look at the team and not just at one person.
The seat Saddiq is running for is in the state of Johor. It's a predominantly ethnic Malay region and is considered the birthplace of UMNO, the core party of BN. Saddiq says it's a seat the opposition needs to win to stand a chance of governing Malaysia. But campaigning in a marginal seat requires a tough skin.
I mean, come on, we want to bring a more mature new politics, and this is definitely not one of it. You don't see us taking down any BN flags.
In this community, there are people who admire his ambition, even if they don't back his politics.
Bagi saya,
for me, Syed Saddiq is good from the point of being a young and spirited youth. But at the age of 25, to contest more is not good for him. Because of his age, he doesn't know much about the electorate.
Polling day is just around the corner. Time is short, but he has a long-term vision for his country.
Let's take the worst-case scenario and we lose. I believe there'll be more and more young people, people who are bright-minded, well-educated, people who are well-informed with the political environment. I think there will be a time in which my generation will take over Malaysia, no matter which party we are in. But I know that once my generation take over, together we will be able to rebuild Malaysia.
Khairy Jamaluddin is the Youth and Sports Minister. He's also the leader of Barisan Nasional's youth wing.
Obviously, we hope that it's not the age that comes through for Barisan Nasional, but rather our ability to provide a more realistic and responsible future.
For this election, BN has launched its first youth-specific manifesto.
We felt there needed to be an additional stress, additional focus on some of the initiatives that we'll be taking in the next 5 years when we win, to address young people and their concerns, especially when it comes to jobs, when it comes to salaries, entrepreneurship, training, quality of life.
Those young people have only ever experienced a government led by BN. When it comes to their next Prime Minister, they will have 2 options. One is Prime Minister Najib Razak, who's faced accusations of involvement in the suspected theft of billions of dollars from the state investment fund 1MDB. He and the company have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. The other option is Mahathir Mohamad, Najib's former mentor and now bitter political rival. There are voters who don't want either of those choices. Even before the election campaign started, there was a social media campaign using the hashtag Undi Rosak, which in English means spoil your vote. It's asking people to fill out their ballots incorrectly as a sign of political protest. In Malaysia, the youth vote is considered anyone between 21 and 39. They account for about 40% of the electorate. In this tightly contested race, they could be the deciding factor. Their votes are needed by all sides of politics.
When we speak to youth voters across the country, we find that they are more critical towards the more long-term issues about governance, corruption, and also how well government spends its money. So we do notice that youth voters tend to be more idealistic, more skeptical or cynical towards politicians across the board, and more questioning.
There are about 2 million new voters who've reached voting age since the last election. One of them is 23-year-old student Judith Mary.
Before this, I was very, very uneducated about politics and all. I choose to stay out of it because I wasn't in the position where I could vote. At the end of the day, the future of the country depends on the younger ones. And so I hope that I can make a difference by my one vote.
So how will Malaysia's young voters end up wielding their power and influence at the ballot box? Natalie Poyhonen, The Newsmakers, Kuala Lumpur.